Erik Ten Hag has been a busy boy this summer. The Manchester United manager has made a number of signings and says that he wants his side to become the best transitional team in the world. We really looked into the history of Manchester United, and we really looked also into the qualities of our players. And then you can say, so what do we want to be? That is, we want to be the best transition team in the world. We want to surprise. As you saw last season, through his use of wild vehicles, Erik Ten Hag doesn't mind hitting it long to the big man. He's also very fond of this. So in front of me, I've got Manchester United's first goal in their preseason game against Arsenal. The move starts with Tom Heaton, the goalkeeper. He kicks it long and wide to the right-hand side, where Kobbie Mainoo collects the ball, shields the ball from the defender, protects it, plays it into Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes collects it here in what I can call the right half space. He drives towards the edge of the box and has a long-range shot. That gets saved, but goes in. Fantastic goal. Seems pretty simple enough, but the interesting thing was said at full time by Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes said, I was talking with Tom that there was a lot of space behind them. The swap between Mason, Kobbie, and me was good. We ended up in different positions, but they were occupied and they created the goal. Now, that goal seemed pretty simple. Big, long kick to the right-hand side, and then someone has a long-range shot from outside the box. However, when I bring you back to the board, you can see this 11 was a bit different. So what you had was Heaton was the one kicking it long, but it was Mainoo who would run down this right half space to protect the ball. Antony had inverted, and you had Sancho entering the box. Mount had also changed position, and you had Fernandes here as the alternate man. So this ball comes in here. Mainoo passes to Fernandes, and it's Fernandes who collects the ball, drives, and has the shot on goal. The thing Ten Hag keeps talking about when he mentions transitions, he wants the ball to get from the back to the front in a shorter space of time as possible. However, in the way the players constantly rotate their positions, he also wants to maintain the surprise. The thing about Erik Ten Hag's transitions is they're supposed to be a latent weapon as well as a potent weapon. Now, last season, United were already good at this. As you can see in front of me on the board, United launched more direct attacks than any other team in the Premier League, and they also scored more direct attack goals. Now, as defined by Opta, a direct attack is a move that begins in your half and then at least 50% of the movement moves towards the opposition goal and ends in a shot or a goal. Manchester United are the best team in the Premier League last season at that sort of direct attack. So get from your half to their half in a very, very short space of time. Not only that, but Manchester United were one of the best teams in Europe at direct attacks. As you can see, the only team that attempted more direct attacks last season was Real Madrid, and they were the only team that scored more direct attack goals. Real Madrid did this because even though they are one of the most well-moneyed teams in the world, they do not always dominate possession. What's also really, really important is that Manchester United historically are quite good at direct attacks. In front of me right now is the board, and they're showing the rolling average of these direct attacks since 2018-19. So you can see points on the Mourinho where they don't do too many direct attacks, on the Solskjaer when they don't do too many direct attacks, and then look at this big spike here. You know what's really cool here is you can really tell when Bruno Fernandes arrives. So it's, oh no, we can't really get the ball forward, and then Bruno Fernandes goes, hello, I'm only going to pass the ball forwards. And Ten Hag is getting them back to where they were when Bruno Fernandes was turbocharging the attack. United do a lot of direct attacks last season. The idea is they can do even more direct attacks. Counter-pressing is another very important tool to becoming a very good transitional side. Because yes, while it's all well and good to have the ball for long periods of time and move the ball and move the defenders in ways that you can break them and eventually score goals, if you can win the ball back quickly after you've lost the ball, the team is doubly disorientated, doubly disorganized, and there'll be loads of lucrative spaces. Now, if you want to be a good counter-pressing team, you also have to be a good pressing team. How can we measure that? There is a metric called PPDA, which stands for passes per defensive action. It's a measure of how intense or how aggressive your team's presses, and it looks to see how many passes the opposition team averages before someone on your team makes a tackle or makes a foul. Now, when I talk about PPDA, the higher the number of PPDA, the less intense your press is. Now, when we look at Manchester United over time, you had Mourinho, which wasn't the greatest, but under Erik Ten Hag, we can see that PPDA number is getting smaller again. It's getting closer to 10. Manchester United are becoming a more consistent and more coherent pressing team. So one of the really big rules to this Manchester United pressing team is it works almost on a timer. So let's say Manchester United are beginning attack. Onana's going to kick long, it goes to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's going to advance the ball here. When he advances the ball, Marcus Rashford's going to try and cut inside. Mount's going to join here. Fernandes is here. Martial wants to attack. Casemiro is going to hold base around here. You've got Antony holding width wide. These three men are covering. And the ball goes, and it's, oh no! Luke Shaw's lost the ball. What are Manchester United going to do? The idea is the gentleman closest to the ball immediately will try and press the opposition player, and they will try and do that in around about 5 seconds. And if they can't do that, then what they tend to do is fall back into a really nice, compact 4-4-2 shape. Fernandes here, and you'll have your striker here, and then you make yourself really dense, really tight space in between the lines, and you'll try and make yourself a pest for the opposition to break down. So as this team of, let's call them the Monstars, trying to advance the ball, it becomes quite hard to do that. Yeah, I know I've left that gap, but necessarily Casemiro is going to stand there. Cool, grand, fantastic. This is a method that's been used a lot by managers that have been influenced by Johan Cruyff's ideals or the ideals of total football. In fact, if I do something really cool with my hands, sorry animators, I'm creating a scale. So here on a line of managers who really like Johan Cruyff's ideas and practice them loads, I'm going to put Pep Guardiola here, and managers that think Johan Cruyff's ideas have merit but don't want to use them all the time. Let's put, say, Thomas Tuchel here. Thomas Tuchel's quite Cruyffian, but he's also kind of pragmatic. So Tuchel's here, Guardiola's there, Erik Ten Hag, there-ish. So he likes positional play, but he also really likes dribblers. He also likes tall lads up front, and he also likes doing loads of crosses in. Go figure. If you group together the things I've told you, how Manchester United launched direct attacks, how Manchester United counter-press to launch micro-transitions, and how Manchester United transitioned back in defence after, let's say, 5 or 8 seconds, then you get a picture of how Manchester United play back to front, transition onto the attack, and transition onto defence. If you put all that data together, you can create an image a bit like this. This was created by Mark Carey. Hi, Mark. What we've got here, I'm going to explain the y-axis here. What this breaks down is how many times are you winning the ball back within 8 seconds, and it breaks down by a percentage. And if you win the ball back very quickly, you tend to live above this line. So then the x-axis looks at how many shots you're getting off after winning the ball after 10 seconds. So the further you are to the right-hand side, the more shots you're getting off very quickly. So ideally, Erik Ten Hag wants to be a team that wins the ball very quickly, so above this line, and he wants to be a team that shoots the ball very quickly, so across from this line. If we look at these 2 dots, Mark tells me that one of these teams was Manchester City when they won the title, one of these dots was Liverpool when they won the title. Manchester United are here. Pretty good. But if Erik Ten Hag wants to make them the best transitional team in the world, they have to go up. They have to start winning the ball even quicker while they're still getting off loads of shots. So how do you improve? How do you become an even better team at winning the ball really quickly and then shooting the ball really quickly? A lot of that comes down to your personnel, which brings us back to Erik Ten Hag's signings this summer. David Gea, who's been historically a very good shot stopper, but declined a little bit in recent years and has loads of weaknesses with his feet, has gone out. Sorry, David. Thank you for your 12 years of service. And in has come Andre Onana. We know loads about Andre Onana's distribution, how good he is with the ball at his feet. JJ's done a fantastic video about him. I recommend you check that one out. Christian Eriksen, who played a lot of minutes last season, but physically tired in the second half of games, will probably go to substitutes bench as Mason Mount comes in. I did a video previously about Mason Mount, and remember I told you, while he is above average on things he does on the ball, he is exceptional on the things he does off it. He's very good in defensive schemes. He's a really good presser from central midfield. Also, that's really important is Manchester United have a striker. Here he is, Rasmus Hojlund. Hojlund will be tasked with leading the press from the front. He's very energetic, and John's done a fantastic video about him as well. Hi John, I hope you enjoy Morocco. So these new players will help Manchester United become better at winning the ball in under 8 seconds, and also they'll help them get off shots in under 8 seconds because they can win the ball higher up the field and get shots off closer to goal. Another person who's really important to getting those quick attacks off is this gentleman over here, Bruno Fernandes, who in the nicest way possible is a spinning, whirling dervish of passing fury. The best description of Bruno Fernandes I once heard was by my friend Musa Ogwanga, who says he plays football as if he's running downhill. This passing map is Bruno Fernandes' open play chances last season, and as you can see, Fernandes passes forward all the time. He's always trying to pass forward. He has quite a dysfunctional passing style compared to a lot of central midfielders who tend to give equal priority to ball retention and chance creation. Bruno Fernandes is very much, I'm going to try and create chances more than keeping the ball. It's high risk, but high reward. It can be frustrating if you're a team that wants to preserve the ball and is really adherent to all of the tenets of positional play, on my scale. But if you're a team that wants to be very good at getting the ball from point A to point B in a short space of time as possible, Bruno Fernandes, who does things like this all the time, is very useful. So when you put that all together, you've got a lot of tools to create a team that's dangerous on the transition. This is why Erik Ten Hag gave us another quote that's really important. What fits this team is transition, both ways. When you have a good attacking transition, you need very good pressing. That's key. And so we work on that, on moments when we are compact. For compactness, we press the opponent, and then we can be in different levels of the pitch. But we have to play proactive defending. And once we have the ball, we can keep the ball or go on a transition. This is a work in progress for Manchester United. In fact, you might be able to say they are transitioning to becoming a very good transitional team.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including journalists dedicated to each Premier League team, so every fan gets the coverage they deserve, not just the big clubs. And you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.